You know him as Primo, but his mother called him Ofentse. He is here today. Next time you do Dimonu to Pitori. Oh, I'm a Bracano to Pitori. Good to see you, bro.
Good to see you again.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know, he's regarded as the funniest content creator on the South African internet, right? With an impressive following of over 1 million TikTok followers. His brand is relatable, authentic, real. People love his content. He has astonished the market, resulting in weekly viewership of over 6 million on TikTok. In addition to his hilarious skit comedies, he has diversified his talents by becoming a prominent personality, forging partnerships with the biggest brands in the country. He's been traveling the country, he's been emceeing, he's been doing a lot of work, collaborating with other content creators, and finally, I'm glad that you're on the Hustlers Corner. Thank you, bro.
I'm so honored to be here, actually, because man, you don't understand. Like, you raised me.
Oh, like, it's that's fine.
Like, I want school transport.
Yeah.
It was your voice the whole time. In the background. Remember when it rained, I was crying. I don't know why I was emotional. Like, I was too young to have that many emotions.
Yeah.
But naked like friends like these, you don't.
Friends like
man,
these,
you don't understand. Like, man, I'm so
guys, I didn't know this guy is tall. So earlier on we bumped into Robot Boy. Robot Boy is tall, for those who know how tall Mzee is. He's taller than Robot Boy.
Yeah, that's my twin. Where did we meet? Someone put us together. I actually can't remember where we met. But then we realized that we're the same height. I think there was a little bit of friction.
Yeah.
Yeah. People, because I get to Roy, man. The skyscraper, so we kind of, but I can't remember where we met. Where did we meet? It was on a set or something. And then immediately we were like, we need to work. Like,
yeah.
Immediately, same time we said we need to work. And then we made, I think, Brown to Man was the first thing we made together. And that took off. It was too crazy.
And then I think it was Ika. You showed me the collaborative visuals that I thought I would find on his YouTube. When I checked his YouTube, he didn't put. Why don't you post your content on YouTube?
Yeah, but you see,
it's a documentary, right?
Yes, yes. My YouTube is not like. It's not like a YouTube. It's not
like out there, go TikTok.
Yo, give me a difference. Give me a difference. If you're really doing it, you must do it like this.
Yeah.
And the way I was doing it was so casual. Like, so I realized if I really want to jump into the space, I need to jump seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to like separate the personal. Guys.
But YouTube
I know
YouTube. And Mzanzo dago TikTok. YouTube.
I'm trying to come. I'm coming.
But it takes time also to come.
Yeah. But TikTok doesn't have money. It's not explicit money. It's not hori. Because I get 1 million views in a day, I'll get 1,000 rand per 100,000 views or whatever the case may be. I don't get anything from that. You know?
Yeah.
It's from people who see the platform that I have, the viewership, that want to pay for some ad space. So YouTube, I'll get like a strategy.
No, okay, first time, but I like the fact that we plan.
Sure.
Notice get that thing. Not that I did. Via Vivi. Valman.
Umzulu unsin lebon.
Muzulu Ba menza bana like Muzulu.
Why like a Zulu?
Mazulu. Go kasi dawo isithembisa
Hayi.
Salwa zokala da.
Akayithi thembisa.
Okay.
I was in and out. I was never there after dark.
Serious, man. Never reachable Naxatana Victoria, never reachable Spumejos.
And they get time, and they get time. I got Tembisa Latave. I love her.
What's what I say in Victoria?
It's a man's cry. Yeah. Temba, specifically, go the 18.
Kasi au ki itse ke baisa mofa ke tsile dago ko kopanonda.
Literally obana huna le main route kenang.
Yeah.
Huna le Khoto. Just before Khoto.
Yeah.
Yeah. My house is king so it's a big one, it is dark. big. He's got these big pointy triangles. Go high.
You're from Skral,
It's a Skral. Go to 18.
And let's start with the TikTok, because I knew you from TikTok. How did that happen? How did you know that it looks like this thing there's something here? And I think I can use this thing.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I stumbled. It was one of those. I mean, I've always, since I've always been into like shows and like theatrics, and I've been a bit of a theater boy. My TK, I grew up with him. He always calls me like a certified like drama kid.
You guys grew up together?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
He's like, he calls me a drama kid, and I've never considered.
What's over?
My family's from Australia.
Oh, go Atridge. Oh, go Peli down.
So Pretoria Tlhagano,
Yeah.
But and I don't like being called a drama kid because it always seemed like they nerds, you know. I don't want to be classified as one of them. I was a bit cool, like it's ball. So I'm not a drama kid. It's ball or how get jog on feet too.
Yeah.
So he kept calling me a drama kid, and it made me realize that I've actually always been into like just putting on a show. Like since I was a kid, I put on like the whole school play in grade 6. I remember, I used to do public speaking. I used to do debating in high school. I did 3 of the fashion shows. I did 3 of the school plays. I used to be a dancer. We used to cramp. Me and TK used to be crampers. That's how. Yeah, and little. It was crazy how we really went through it. Like
in the movies, Stomp the Yard.
Stomp the Yard, rise, 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 high rise,
Yeah.
But yeah, that was so like I feel like with the TikTok I didn't plan. I didn't say I'm going this direction. I was just always about that. I was actually on YouTube. My YouTube stuff started then.
Oh, you started on YouTube?
I started there, yeah.
And then you're like, hey, it's Anako.
I'm doing this for 200. What? It wasn't working out. It wasn't working out. And then I was tweaking my formula, and my format just became shorter and shorter. And then I started posting it more Instagram. And my stories, people were like, "Hey man, this is a TikTok." I was like, "What is that?" They're like, "No man, check this app." And then I went there. I'm like, more half you, more get half. Guys, you already half, ne?
Yeah.
But I go to Togo half you and half you internationally. But less halfing, or half a little America, or this half. And I sat on it for like a weekend. Monday, I'm inside.
Yeah.
I'm creating from Monday.
And this is when?
This is lockdown.
You started now in lockdown?
28th of March, my first TikTok.
You gotta be kidding me. Over 1 million followers, you started now in lockdown. Okay, tell me more, sure.
Yeah, but for me, I don't even feel like 1 million is a lot. It's not. There's people who have like, 10.
Yeah.
You know, I don't pride myself in that number. It was just a milestone I had to get to.
Okay.
Like I had to say, hey, that's really cool. After that, I was just like, okay, sharp. Now it's time to keep going. But yeah, TikTok is something I just stumbled upon it. I was doing it so much. I think I got good because I had a lot of time. A lot of time.
Apart from your talents, what advice you give somebody else who's starting on TikTok? What are some of the things that you feel over time in growing this big following
niche
you
out.
started doing? Like, do you post at a certain time? Is there a certain length that your videos must be? What are some of the things that you were doing to hustle that TikTok thing? To grow your TikTok?
At the time, it was, I think, practice. It was practice. And I also come from football.
Yeah.
So all I had to do was just put a lot of time into perfecting my formula. Like I was just practicing the whole time. I remember I would make, now I can make 2 a day.
2 videos
max,
a day?
Yeah. Takes a lot out of me.
So you have to post at least 2 videos a day?
Not post.
Okay.
I'll make.
Or create.
I'll create 2. I might post 1, I might post 2.
Okay.
But a lot of the times, like I used to, when I was in lockdown, I get up on my 6 in a day. 4 between the hours of 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. I'll make 4 TikToks, post them because America's watching. And then after, when we awake, I'll make 2. Just to, because people weren't into the way I make content as yet. And I was using a lot of South African sounds. They weren't popular. People were just using American sounds. Then I was like, man, people are funny, man. The South Africans are funny. They're saying weird things. They're saying out-of-pocket things. And I think I could do, you know, and I thought I could do something here. But they were doing it a lot with Americans because it was safe and everybody was kind of validating this sound. So everybody would jump on that validated sound. And I would use my AM time, my America time, to use validated sounds, and then my essay time to experiment with South African jokes, South African ideas, South African sounds. And then after a while, I was like, no. I tried it a couple of times in America, and I was like, it's not enough. I'm not feeling it. And I've got the views, but I'm not feeling like I'm seeing. So I decided I'm gonna switch it all up and just South Africa one way.
Do those sounds contribute in your videos potentially going viral or in getting higher views? I'm talking about the sounds now that you put in the soundtrack.
I mean,
like bo when it comes like
yeah. So they do, but hey, but we also just don't jump on TikTok.
No, I am on TikTok.
We're gonna have almost
then
why don't you do it like this? Man, do it like this.
Almost 1 million followers I have, yeah.
But I do what I know. No, right? We need to see this one. Grootman, we need to see this one.
No, but I don't dance like Oskiro.
I know. You don't need to.
Oskiro.
You don't. Okay. It's a scale.
Yeah.
It's a scale. Like when you're not filming. Come that side, we're gonna do that. You see that thing?
What I've just done now, yeah.
I want to translate. Let's say we're gonna make it move. We're gonna do something. But the sounds do. It's almost like it's like when you're a rapper and you choose a beat. Beat selection. Beat selection is very important. But for me, it's alignment of the beat and the idea that made more sense. I used to be able to take sounds no one has heard, but because my idea aligns so well that it blows the sound up. So it varies. It varies. It goes. It's a whole process. I have a bit of a process.
I get you.
Yeah, I've developed a crazy formula. Yo.
And in getting one video already, and I know that as you're saying, you record often.
Yeah.
Pretty much as you're saying, every day, 2 videos a day. But how long does it take for you to finish one video with the editing and everything?
45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't edit per se. I edit, so when I do, I have 2 processes. I have one process for my audience content, which is non-branded, which is the funny stuff, which is the random stuff. And then I have another process for the branded content that brands will come pay for. And that one I edit. So that one takes a lot longer. That one takes about 2 days of ideation, and then I can take about 2 hours to shoot, about a day of editing. So it's about a 4 or 5 day process. And then my TikTok's 45 minutes, I'm done.
Okay, and then length?
Length, minute. I don't go, a minute is like, so social media is consuming a lot of things at a shorter span. So the way Instagram focused on reels and stories, and TikTok focusing on the length, it made people consume TikTok at a way shorter. Now when you see Instagram and you see 2 minutes, oh God, it's too long, you're gonna fast forward, you know what I mean? But people bite max 15 seconds, people are biting.
Yeah.
People are willing to listen to you for 15 seconds.
Yeah, my average on my TikTok is 13 seconds, on most videos.
You must convince them in that first 10. Yeah, that's what I learned that one very early. But also with the ads also, that's where it helps more. Because people don't wanna see it. As soon as they see it, it's branded.
Yeah. Preferably to get a higher chance of your videos getting higher views. If it's not a minute, what is it? Like 15 seconds, 20 seconds?
15. It's a story. So Instagram really kind of put it to like a story.
So people are programmed that way. So even when they go to TikTok.
Yeah. So you kind of, after 15 seconds, you start feeling something awkward in your body. And you start looking at other things. You're not going to look and you want to swipe, Yeah. So 50, I feel like, and that's me, I'm very hard on myself. I make mine, I'm very tight. So I try my best for that first 15 seconds. It's like a murder case. They say if you don't have a good lead in the first 48 hours, right? Yeah. Forget it. Really.
Now you're on TikTok, now it's locked down. All of a sudden you have just become this person who lang alimu phone high. But when you're starting this TikTok thing.
It was really weird at first so first of all, I moved. I used to live with my mom, and I was doing a lot of my stuff there. And that's why I started my foundation. I was at my mom's house. And then my mom and them was a bit weird because I had a job. And then because of lockdown, I couldn't work. I used to be a coach. And they coach Habana. And we weren't allowed to be on the fields, obviously, group anything that wasn't allowed. Outside sports events weren't allowed. So I was at home the whole time, you know, and I could see that these people are bored of me. These people are anxious. I'm not bringing any money in, you know. I'm like, yo, I don't have much time here. And the only thing I'm doing is playing on my phone. Play. I'm stealing my mom's gown to make a video on my phone and things, you know. So I was annoying in the house.
And you knew that?
I could feel it.
Yeah,
you know, just like say one say extra yes. Yes. Hey, you put the one slide back because it's just you know. Excuse me. So I could feel it, and I was like, "Ish," but it's okay. I believed, and my mom was very patient. But also, households have a certain way of running, so she would push where she could. And then I got kicked out of the house. Funny enough, it was so crazy. For almost no reason. But I got kicked out of the house and I had to live in my car for like a day or so. My friend took me in. And then so there's, even if you go to my TikToks, you could see it, it's the weirdest thing. It starts off, I'm at my house, you could see the background is similar. Then it changes and I'm at an apartment for like 2 weeks. Then I'm at my dad's house. Like you could literally watch my life on TikTok. Then I go back to my mom's house. Then I move out into my own place. And you could see this whole phase happening in there. But then after I got kicked out, I moved to my dad's house. And now my dad is now watching me. And he's walking up and down. And I'm in a gown. I'm in my sister's gown. This one. It's not the normal one. Now this one's here. And I'm making sure that I'm cutting here. And I'm wearing a bonnet. And he's like, oh, what? You know, and my dad didn't, he's up and down. He's a very, very busy guy. So he would only see snippets of me doing these things. And he wouldn't see the final product.
And I got TikTok, got demand.
He would play around, but only later. But at that time, he wasn't there at all. And he would just, man. And then I was coaching more at the time. So he pressured the coaching. And then I think he started catching wind of my content. Like people started sending it to him. I'm like, hi man, kintona how? He's like, hey. And then and there was a very hectic video, the one he saw, yes, and I did it in the house. Pussy all over my face. Sure. Pussy all over your face. That was the first video that he caught wind of, and I shot it in the house with my sister's gown, my sister's bonnet, in my sister's room. And he's like, I'm like, yo, ish. Yeah, no. And then he saw, I so wish I had your peak on my sister's bed, like blue walls. My feet are up, you know, more like, he saw the weirdest part of my life, like, and he was confused for the longest time. But after then he kind of saw what it's actually a positive impact, and I started making money off it. Like, I'm not just making jokes now.
Yeah.
You know, people are paying me and I can come back and say, lunch.
Yeah.
Just a lunch, salary coach. I'm like, ask why. I say, I'm fine. But yeah, now it's cool. Now it's like, it's the president and hope they know.
I like it when you say you started making money. When did you start making money and how?
I started making money a year after I started. 2021, October 2021.
Okay. Did one of your videos go viral?
I had been, like at this point, like I remember, I won't lie.
You'd been going viral.
I won't lie. Every week, I won't lie.
Yeah.
I won't lie. I was up. I was on form almost every 2 days I've got a hit. Every 2 days. The whole country is wiling. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all the one video. It's not like I'm posting different. One video, the whole week. Next week, another video. And it shot up so quickly. Like the viewership went crazy. And I think I was kidding about, I used to have 50,000 followers, but my viewership was over 1 million a week.
Sure.
Yeah, over 1 million a week. So I don't know how these brands find out, but they were like, nah, too many people view this thing. So the first brand was some charity, but they were like, we'll pay you 5K.
Was it an email? Was it a phone call? Did it come through somebody?
DMs.
Yeah.
Everything, most of the stuff was DMs.
And what are they saying?
They were like,
we'd like to work with you.
Yeah, how much would you charge us for if we want to do 4 videos, how much are you gonna charge? Like, eh?
Baba Zaga,
I'm for Zaga. I'm gonna get 500. Then 2,000. No so, little empire.
Yeah.
And then I spoke to like a friend of mine and they were like, 2,000, 2,000 for one. I was like, okay, cool. And then I charged 2.5, I think. And then I got 5,000. I was like,
and then they paid it.
5,000. And at that time, my coaching, the most I could get, we were getting a commission basis for how many days you were coaching and how many matches in the week. And I think my max.
What kind of no coach?
Yeah, at the same time, yeah. So
thing.
I think my max that I could earn a month was like 4.8. Max, that's I worked as much. I couldn't do any more overtime. Ke feel late to go 4.8. Like, ke jail this month. They gave me 5. I said, double salary.
Bell.
Are Jane.
Yeah.
And then I remember.
What brand was it? Let's give them a plug.
No, it was something for like vaccinations. It's trying to plug people to get vaccinated or something. Like vaccinate gotta work.
Oh, vaccination.
Gotta go next to our guys, you know, and then I think the next one was MTV Base. The very next one was like already high paying. Aya was like watch. I didn't even know, but she was one of the marketing directors at MTV and MTV Base, and she was watching my content just as a civilian, and I didn't know who was following. I didn't know who was following me at the time. I didn't care, and she kept watching me. Then the day they gave me a DM, I realized it's her, and I was like, damn, this woman's been following me for a while. I don't know who she is, and she paid me, I think 4 times my first fee. So she gave me 20.
Yeah,
and I was like, Bolo, I
don't even have to leave the house.
I'm not breaking a sweat. I had no, and that time you have no production cost. Get phone now. Get phone. Done. No production cost. I'm not paying for anything. I'm living at home. It's all mine. It's a clean 20.
What's going on in your mind now when you're getting this 20? They're paying you for the second time now.
Roja.
Yeah. But what's going on as far as, because for any young person who's frustrated, and this is lockdown, everyone was frustrated. A lot of people, some people even got depressed.
Yeah.
But now there's this second check at 20,000 just for using your phone. I just want to know what's going on in your mind.
I think the pressure started hitting same time. I was like, there's too many people watching, actually. And now I've got the pressure, I've got money's pressure. I said pressure, can I live to buy 50,000? It's the pressure of having someone who said, Arbon. To get better 20. Arbon. And I was like, damn, this is a lot of pressure.
And they give you creative freedom, ne?
Yeah. At the time, because they didn't understand what's going on. They were just like, this guy,
just wanted to be a part
but it's provocative. Oh, gets the people going. Do it again. You know, do another backflip. And the whole time, and I was like, okay, sharp. It's time to now get used to the pressure, because the quicker I can get used to the pressure is the more I can do this thing on a regular basis and get more. So I think for like the next 3 months, I was just focusing on like the pressure, just mentally just handling the pressure of being paid to do this thing that I love so much. Because money changes, money changes how you see a lot of things. Once a monetary value is placed on something you do out of thin air, it starts changing that thing a bit. So I needed to get used to not letting it change it. I was like, don't let that money seep into this pool.
And mess up your creativity.
Not at all. So I had to take 3 months of just doing that. After that, flying fish. My God, Samsung. And I'm like, first year already I'm seeing the biggest brands.
Wow, bro. What's the highest check you've received?
Man.
For one campaign, yeah. No, I'm not talking about all of your money. I'm just talking about what's the highest. Was it 50,000? Was it 40,000?
The highest one.
The second check was already 20K.
The highest SMS to say thing.
Yeah.
You're like, one thing.
Rotman,
baton lahat, baton sarapo. Rotman the highest highest.
Men's hona le zaka go social media.
No, it is.
Let's go bona le ready khafi, hona le zaka ta. That's
A1.
why TikTok.
A1 Grootman.
Yeah, like the highest.
SMS.
Yeah, just the highest.
Yo, SMS one day getting 200.
Yo.
One time.
Million, boy. One time.
Once. Ding.
Check
a little love from me,
sure. And it's the highest you've ever received in your life. Out of creating content.
Eka toilet, eka ilo nafathi, ka lo shiya hanyane, ka shiya 1, ka shiya 2.
How long was the campaign? Was it 6 months? Was it 12 months? How much work did you have to do for that 200K?
Grootman. I got to sama tu Grootman. Problem gore ish.
Babang every day for the whole month. Demand
200,000. That campaign was over. It was over a month.
Sure.
Yeah, it was 4 days of work,
bro. And then your life starts changing.
It's my prized possession. No, this is. I get you said the biggest, not at that time.
Oh, okay. So you had already been rolling now.
Yeah.
When was the decision come to move out of home?
I think it was always looming. I mean, I'd moved out before. So during varsity.
No, but
and then situations kind of changed back at home when my stepfather passed away. Then I had to go back and take care of my mom.
Yes, and I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. And it was crazy because that's when I went back home to take care of my mom.
So I didn't see your cap is written, make us concrete again.
The solution. I'm always wearing the solution everywhere I go.
Sorry I disturbed you, yeah?
But I went back to my mom's, and when I got back to my mom, that's when things really got like intense. Like that's when the TikTok really took off. And I think I didn't take it because I'd moved out before. I'd moved out in varsity. I'd moved out when I was living, when I was studying. I think I moved out twice. And then I came back home. So this time I knew that when I leave, I have to leave. So when I came back to my mom's house, I knew, okay, Sharp, I've got a mission here. I'm taking care of Mamzo. But this thing is starting to pay. It's starting. I think when it pays nicely, I have to leave. Like I have to start my own thing. I can't be at home. I need like to incur costs. Now I need to it's a business now. It's not just, I'm not just earning side rack on the side. I say 20K a mahal. Now it's like, we have to sustain this thing and it needs to keep coming back. So it was a no-brainer. You know, I spoke to my dad. I said, hey, dude, I want to move out. He's like, okay, cool, we'll talk about it. And then me and him, you know, he mentored me a lot in that whole process and then came out with something.
Nice. And then where do you go? Sunny side.
Nah, Sunny side, Brooklyn. I used to take a bus in Tropango Sunny side. And then go say Sunny side.
So moving to go, Melden me. Oh, it's
Rodman, Kimo Sante.
Josie, my brother.
Kimo Sante.
What's that game?
Kimo Sante in 2065. Rodman.
So 16. And that is what 2021, right?
End of 2022, end of, towards the end there, because I bought the place and I couldn't move.
You bought it? You didn't come rent, you bought it.
Rodman,
it's a mark. Man, get a hustle, man. I tell you so. Rodman, it's a mark. No one copies. Mo lining go Pitori ba thobana ba utso di ka re khale ne re ba bitsa maliner. E ka slam ka tse ba bitsa banda ba spinika ra makintsa. Pitori ba re ke maliner. No mara nna ke bolela ka rona mo lining ya ka ya ma hustler. O baile property. Ka zaga ya TikTok. How does that change your life now? Moving to Joburg, getting your own property. And I also want to know the decision of buying a property. Why couldn't you rent?
So the thing is, I actually always lived in Joburg. Pitori Nele, my very early stages of life. So then, because of my father, I get at the time, not like his Chiefs, then he moved overseas and whatever. So I used to come up to his family.
Your dad was a professional soccer player?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who was it? Yes! I don't know.
Bo, Nash.
Oh, Yiso! Yo! You lied, bro! You lied! I don't know.
Why easy?
Do you know that when I sit with guests, I I don't do research.
Grootman.
Mine is a genuine conversation in getting to know my guests.
Grootman,
Like I don't do research. Una macho.
Yeah. So I was always up and down.
Okay, I'm gonna have 200,000. For him, he's used to the pound to that man.
I'll tell you. Shabu. Yeah. So I was always up and down. I was always in Soweto visiting, Ridgeway visiting in the south. So I was always up and down in Joburg. My mom also moved to Joburg. I was in the south for a long time. Most of my life I was in Joburg. Yeah.
So I had an interview with Robot Boy, and I said to him, why would you do that to yourself, bro? Like, you could have just used your dad's name or fame or success to build your own success, so it's a shortcut. Why do you have to do the hard way?
It's a shortcut.
And then he's like, no, I wanted to do it my way. And while he's prospering.
Yeah.
Why did you have to do the same, also make it hard?
Shortcut.
Why couldn't you use your dad is Lucas Radebe,
so, what does that have to do with TikTok?
I'll make sure everyone knows.
TikTok. It's not gonna make people enjoy me and like my stuff. TikTok is tough. People underestimate how hard TikTok is when you're intentionally trying to get people to like your stuff. A lot of the time people are getting likes unintentionally. You just post something funny and to say I want them to laugh at this and then they must laugh, that thing is tough. The time I got to say next, man. Next. Maybe in football when I was still playing, because I had an extensive career, I think about 18 years I played. And I could have, towards the end, flexed his name a bit more. But I didn't, I never. I think I had a grudge. I wanted to prove myself more than anything. I wanted to say, ish dog, I can reach those heights that you reach, bro. Like, I was watching you do it in front of me, umutu. Like, you know, you're not this special, huge thing, you know, like when you see Cristiano, I'll tell him, maybe Hengamona, washayina kwaleng, uthasa Vaseline more than Rona. But my dad, uthasa Vaseline enough, give him a little bit later. But this guy, everywhere he goes, they love him. What the hell? Like, what's so hectic? Why can't I walk around and have this much gravity wherever I go, or do something so well that everybody really enjoys me for it, you know? So I've always kind of had like the ambition to get to that level. So I didn't want to use that to get to that ambition. I wanted to also create my own, and I knew you had to build. You have to stand on something solid. You can't just, So we needed a solid, thick foundation underneath. And with football, I took a long dry. I played for so many teams where I could have just said, hey, why easily coach? Coach. And not once. Every time they found out it was a mistake. You know, someone slipped, or they saw who picked me up one day, or I asked someone to drop me off at home and they're like, ish, why is your house so big? I was like, then my dad would come out to see who's outside and be like, why? You know, and then the resemblance is there. Hey, if it's about some lights, I'll go clap on the next day. Bolo kita yabona ning.
But what's interesting also, I think what strikes me is your humility. It's like you know, usually people who come from such parents are more boastful, they look entitled, they look like,
I don't know, I think maybe I was
ice cream, better than
yeah, the cheese boy. Yeah, give me cheese boy.
Where does the humility come from though?
No, I wasn't raised in it. I didn't grow up in that life. I didn't grow up in that glitz and the glam. I never grew up with my dad. I grew up with my dad's mom, you know, in the house in early 17. School holidays, when I go back, 17. Sure. Kingwana Magogo, and both sides, you know, like, this whole tattoo here is Gamagog, like Kingwana Magogo through and through. Like, I used to call my granny mom before I called my mom mom. I used to call my mom by her name, and I used to call my granny mama. Like, that's who raised me. And I feel like I owe it all to that kind of, the upbringing. You know, I never once caught a whiff of like the money. I wasn't spoiled. I groveled for everything. Like, like every other kid.
But were there other moments where you felt like, no, my dad must just come to Ramfezaga?
I mean, there was always frustration, you know? And I mean, it created a lot of mental battles within myself. Because you could see it, you know? I could see Unkele nice in Bajamanati, not Jabroto, and I get every morning. Like, but it was fun. Like we couldn't care less about how the environment. Like we were playing soccer every day. We would wake up, we'd do the chores, we're playing soccer from 10 a.m. till the sun goes down. You know, so it helped a lot. Like that's really what, and I could say maybe that's where I get the humility from the fact that
Yeah.
I never caught a whiff of the money. I never got spoiled. I was always in good schools. My dad made sure I was in a good school. That's one thing he made sure I was always in a my mom, actually it was my mom. She was like, this nigga is gonna pay school fees. Utopatela. You know, so I was always at a good school, but that's it. You know, ka peanut butter jam make everything. I used to ride a bike to school. In high school, I used to do
But you sort of knew what your dad represented to the country, because you need to remember your dad is not a local star. Your dad is an international star.
Yeah, it grew. That grew. The older I got, the more I saw what he represented.
Yeah.
I could see it's nice, he's famous and stuff. Yeah, I know, everyone loves him. But the older I grew, I realized, hey, this guy's a hero. Like, this guy, when people see this guy, they see an example.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just a bro. You know, people call him Captain, that was a huge point of admiration for me. He was always a leader. Like, I could feel that. I could feel who this guy, he doesn't speak to a lot of people, but it's like when he speaks, gang, people move. So the whole time that's all I was seeing. I was brought up watching this ball of fire, you know, just growing. And I'm definitely sure that touched me. That's what touched me.
Have you had the experience of having gone to Europe with him to see how he's treated
Only
out
once,
there?
for 2 days.
Okay.
We went there for 2 days.
How was that?
We went there. It wasn't even about him like that. It was the Ballon d'Ors. It was the 2015, 2016 Ballon d'Or Awards.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want you guys to come with me and my little brother. Best night of my life. Best night of my whole life. That's when I realized the class of soccer player he's in, because when we got there, he was invited as a FIFA guest. He wasn't just going there, I no, he's won a FIFA Fair Play Award before at the Ballon d'Ors, so he's coming as a former winner. And that's what I'm saying, I grew into realizing how powerful this guy is, you know. That December, it was January, beginning of the year, he's like, okay, Sharp, we got everything, our visas are ready. First time I'm leaving the continent. 17-hour flight. Me and my dad, my little brother was on his own flight. Me and my dad, and it's the first time I'm traveling long term with them, so we're having chats, and it was really nice, really warm. We get that side, we transfer Germany. Hey, I'm leaving. The doors I don't even have to touch the doors in Europe. They just open themselves. I'm leaving. Rodman, I was leaving. We get to Switzerland. As we're getting out of the plane, they separate me and my dad. It was all the only black people in the whole plane. So it was very easy to see who's who. As soon as we're all getting out, they say, hey, Kamal Saiting. I'm like, yo, I've seen the Bola Patrol.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, yo, it's bad. And then they're like, no, after a while, a 5 Series pulls up. I say, hey. I say, nah, I'm not going with anyone else go passing. I say, okay. Get in the 5 Series, takes us to a private wing of the airport. Like, that's what I said, man, I'll take it rich, wait. And that time it's like FIFA, you know, and everything was perfect. Everybody who dealt with us was wearing a suit. We went to fetch my little brother, went to the hotel, 5-star. Then the legends start coming in and he's greeting everybody like, big man, hey. Big man's like, me and Robert Boy now, yeah, it's him and like David Beckham, him and Edgar Davids, him and like Samuel Eto'o. Like it's nothing. Big man, hey, Yaya Toure, hey. I'm like, this guy is huge. This guy is massive. And then they now in turn are treating us the same way. There was even a point where we were going to get our accreditation and we walked out of the hotel and there were like people outside, paparazzi, European football media. As we got it, they want to take pictures of us. I signed autographs, man.
Yeah. That's now I'm going to lie.
Yeah, they thought I was a footballer. And I was playing, but they thought I was one of the guys. You know, I'm tall, I'm fresh. Then I get jacket, and then we came back, the awards, everybody's just greeting him like they know him, you know, like we saw Cristiano Ronaldo. I've met everybody in football today, Messi, Cristiano, Neymar, Sergio Ramos. That night, that's when I was like, okay, sharp. My guy, my dad is the guy. They even like called him up, I think, on stage, or they asked him to stand up, or something.
Yeah.
And I was
just
like,
to acknowledge him.
Just to acknowledge. And I was like, yo, I'm forgetting this guy's is a former FIFA Fair Play winner. Like, he's in the fraternity. He's gonna come here, he's gonna have an invite every year.
Did he also maybe behind the scenes have that thing? Bafana Baba's got trailer blind. It's outside of South Africa.
Here's the thing, my dad kept chakokasi. My dad kept chakokasi. Like, so exactly that. Like, he would just, hey, this is my son. Hey, now Thierry Henry is greeting me. Hey, and he's like, hey, just tell my son something. You know, like, I remember we even met Zidane one time and they were just laughing. And we were shook. Me and my little brother are like, we paralyzed, and my dad is just laughing at us. Like, he was just laughing at us. When we were done, he's like, yeah, no. He was so like, yo. So like, that's, my whole life, I look up to that.
I get you.
Like, that's my standard of anything.
I get you.
Is the tip top. The tip top.
Do you know his history? Does it tell you about his days at Bobsol back in those days?
A little bit. I mean, you also hear it from a lot of people.
Yeah.
When I played, the funny thing is, when I played, a lot of people, like, it was weird. It was like it was ordained. There was a coach, my first coach in varsity football, used to play with him. His dad used to coach my dad. And he was old at that time. It was a team called Lihuruti Birds or something like that.
Yeah.
One of the scientists, actually. First team in KC that he played for.
Yeah.
That guy was my coach. My dad's coach's son was my coach. And then I met a whole lot of guys who played with my dad, and then I got coached by Clive Barker also, who sadly passed away this year.
So rest in peace, yeah.
And yeah, he also coached me on my first professional season at Mpumalanga Black Aces.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was, so I would hear these stories from all these people. My granny used to make a point. My granny was actually the football, like, the junkie. I think she made my dad play. My granny was actually the spine of football in my family. Yeah, like, all my dad's brothers played because of her. Like, we all played because of her. She allowed us all to play. Like,
who got you into soccer?
Myself.
Okay.
Yeah, but we had a soccer family.
So
like, you walk into my grand's house, it's just trophies. There's a big R on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And then there's trophies everywhere. Like, Madiba, there's photos of my dad with Mandela, there's like portraits, there's huge, everywhere. So football is all we knew. Every single one of us. That's why I'd say we'd wake up from about 10 a.m. till nighttime, Ridlala challenge. Like, they had a park. We jumped the wall, park, the whole day, one ball. And we got so good. Like, almost me and my whole family got to meet our own team. Like, Granny started a team.
Your granny started a team?
She had a team, yeah. And she named it after my dad and stuff, because she managed it. And her old age, she was like, from the age of like 50-something into her death, my gran was managing her team herself. Writing out to Safa. The kids are getting watched at home. We'd go out to matches. We'd make sandwiches for the players. Like, I grew up in a football home. Like, because I don't energy. But on the weekend, we can drink energy. Just because the players are gonna play and we're gonna be forced to make energy. And energy, what a baguette. So wires are so it was pure football at home. It was 100% football on my dad's side.
Sgila?
I was good at, I was academic. Yeah.
What's that guy?
Naturally. I went to 7 schools. Valala in Pitori. I went to school called Klep Drift. In Hammanskraal is a school called Klep Drift primary. Our school Klep Drift. I went to school there with no shoes just because the poor kids weren't wearing shoes. I said, I couldn't find my left shoe one morning. I went to school. No one noticed. So that's when I knew I was in a large school, not a primary or anything. I've been to Mondio. Me and Robert Boy were in the same school, actually. We didn't even know. Yeah, it's the craziest coincidence. We were in the same grade.
Wow.
In the same school, same year.
Yeah.
We would never cross paths.
Crazy.
Yeah. We actually grew up in the same hood in the south there. I went to Mondio, I went to Sparrows, I went to Courtney House, I went to Waterstone College is where like my high school, and that's really who I became. I became Waterstone College.
Yeah.
Yeah, and killed it. killed it. Got 93% for math literacy.
Yo.
Finally, yeah,
93.
ish.
Maro
literacy, mara ish.
Mara still we
Yeah, give it ke fupetse kwa. History ka better 81 ka fupela kwa. Afrikaans 75 ka fupela kwa. Yeah, ka fupela
Man wa fupa. But anyway, yeah.
I scored an excess ladies. I did academically I was very sound.
Josie, Machos, were you a naughty boy or were you a good boy?
Good boy.
Yeah.
I was raised really well. I was raised by my grannies. I was raised by my mom. I was raised by women. So I was always
humility, respect.
Hey. Mpama yake no so.
Yeah. Push
in. That's why I don't like being called. That's why I don't like being called Ofentse.
Yeah.
Out in public, I prefer Primo. A good Ofentse. I hear someone at home say Ofentse. Yeah. That's what I hear. That's what I hear. Not Ofentse. Yeah. So no. Every time those voices are clear in my head with who raised me. So I wasn't naughty. I was always about my stuff. I was scared of my mom, so I would do things on time. I'd come home on time. Only 1 or 2 times where, but she would know. But otherwise, I was a very good kid. A very good kid.
Did you have plans of going to varsity? Did you have plans of maybe becoming a doctor one day?
Yeah. I used to be heavily into astronomy, actually.
Yeah. I
used to want to study the stars. Then the older I got, I used to want to get into business. I was very good at business studies. I wanted to be a historian. I wanted to do a PPE because I was very good at history.
Yeah.
And my history teacher was like, dude, you a diplomat, bro. Like you first of all, you can bring people together to a common goal, and you are very good at retaining people and retaining information for the right reasons. So every time I'd write an essay, he would make the essay the example in the class, or when we have a history project, it's my speech, I must go do it again because you guys didn't actually hear what this guy was saying. So I definitely wanted to do politics. I was deep into I wanted to be president. I still want to be, but I wanted to go into it the formal way, say PPE, philosophy, politics and economics. Then I studied economics. My mom wanted me to go the business route. So she said, business studies, ecos, BCom, something that side. And I did economics at Monash. I didn't finish. And then I moved into business strategy. I didn't finish. And then I changed it to brand and marketing management. And then I finished.
What do you call yourself now? Or how would you like to be referred to?
An entertainer.
An entertainer?
Yeah.
That's an umbrella term.
Yes. I don't want to be boxed because I do everything. I do a lot. I'm an actor. I've already got my TV debut. I'm about to have my Netflix debut on series and film now. I'm a comedian. I'm a model sometimes. I'm an MC. I'm a filmmaker too. So I direct, I produce, I write. I do a lot of things. So I don't like streamlining myself via TikTok. TikTok is just the platform that you guys related to the best. When I really open up this can of worms, I
understand why you and Robert Boy click. And I can also relate, because Linda in the business, I did a lot of things all the way up until today.
Yeah, I'm saying, the fact that I can even say that, remember when it rained, friends like these, and my school transport, there's 3 different realms. I can't say DJ Smooth, you. You are one of those pioneers of encompassing. You are a voice. We hear you. If you say something, we'll hear you just because you said it. We trust your standard in everything. That's kind of where mine comes from too. It's I focused on football for so long, and I realized I was actually limiting my impact by focusing so narrowly on playing. When I started coaching, I was like, my impact can be on making other kids better. I actually even have a protege. I have a 19-year-old kid that I groom, and he's playing professionally now. He's signed his first contract at 18.
Wow.
Yeah. At 18, 17 years old, I've been grooming him because I found him while I was coaching.
Yeah.
And I realized that when you narrow, you limit impact. You find a niche to entertain and as an audience, but your abilities, don't narrow yourself down. Don't narrow yourself.
And people are different. There's other people who just want to focus on
just that.
And they're good at that.
And that's you. Yeah. And that's you. If you have the capacity to do that and you're really good at that, shout out, we need you. We actually need you in the world. You know, some of us rahafa, some of us so.
How did coaching or working with kids help build your character?
Tenfold. Patience. Shoo. Like with me taking this kid on, Timmy, I saw it taught me talent identification and then how to develop and then how to execute and how to treat something in work, in the process of work. So it's like even me with myself, I was like, okay, Sharp, you identified that you're good at this. After you identified, you have to develop this ability. So then I developed my TikToking by TikToking a certain amount of times a day and fixing up my niches. Okay, this crowd feels me like this day. And just testing everything out in the development phase and then how I treat myself with the final product, analysis, feedback. Am I hard on myself? Am I soft on myself? So I was seeing that physically with kids. There's a kid who doesn't want to listen at all. He's just screaming, go training, go nafatso, what's a mate, what's a mutlape, and as much as you know, I can't. But what do I have, you know, so like it's like, okay, Sharp, how do you now get through that? And I think that's also the essence of creativity. It's just here's a gap, and I need to bridge this gap.
Find a way to connect.
How am I gonna connect with this selfish kid? He doesn't know anything I'm saying. This is a dumbass. This thing hasn't developed anything. I mean, you know, but it's like, how do I get there? So it's like, how do I get this to do this complex thing that I see in my head? Because in my head, all I see is strategy, the ball moving from him to him to him to him, teamwork leading to a goal. How do I get this thing that can't even understand the concept of a strategy to do what I wanted to do? I had to learn that 2 years of just like digging into kids and the psychology of kids. I worked with like underprivileged kids. That's why I found like in Versatility, so I was working with a whole bunch of like, these kids are really naughty. These boys were naughty. Hot man, naughty. But you, hot man. But like, I don't know who's who. You know, like, and they were so stubborn. They rowdy. They fight. You could see, and I'm like, I see your guys' psychological issues, and a lot of time it comes from home. You know, at home they treat them a certain way, so they can't handle themselves in here. You know, so
I can just imagine stout kids. But I let's call about stout school.
Yeah, stout school.
Now you stout school.
My 2K about stout school. That's why I get it. That's why I share and share the Monte Casino about stout school. We're not resist stout school.
Stout school, we used to speak about it a lot when we were growing up. Vescopies.
Vescopies is right, you know. I think because now we're mentally going through things.
And it's also good that in society we're having these conversations about mental health, etc. Because, you know, you'd find koka sukre, bakrele koko abatu and hashab.
It's psychosis, guys. Hashabo.
You know what I mean? Instead of otherwise, there was some crazy things going on. There used to be body after 80. If someone knocks at the door at 8 o'clock, after generations or before generations don't answer the door. Yeah.
And I realized the parents just didn't want to be disturbed generations and Mara, they were like, no, someone's gonna kill you. Like there was a whole like myth, like it's in yoga. Like if you answer the door, someone's gonna come through and it's gonna be a whole big thing. So
easy people felt like that day. We grew up interestingly, man. It's different from now. Now when I grew up, Kokasi, I grew up like when I was young. Modi for room toilet egontle.
Sure.
So sometimes about I go toilet then go nine man. Yeah, but pinky go.
And utamina ko
low mati daw what toilet.
Wa jamba na wa ema nor. We also my dad's house in Deep Kloof. So there, like toilet egontle. Yeah, we used to run. Rakapana. We used to have a big family, so at least near Rakapana. So one has to stand outside. When you think they call, hey, Uteka ke. Shapo. How skata maya. Kafeta. Okay, wa hopola mama.
Next thing uleloliwa.
Because wa hopola mama no le mona te yang mama ne re jele a se tsene mfeti ya le kota ele. Wa hopola. Now it's quiet. Yeah, I think I was also blessed that I grew up in that transition.
Yeah.
I grew up in half in the hood, half in the suburb. Kimang. Wabon.
Tabiso kwena.
Wabon.
Utonyena ukithore Can you feel blind? Now let's talk about soccer. You became a coach. Obviously, you come from a soccer family. How good were you?
I was really dope. I was dope. Like I remember when.
Even if you have to say so yourself.
Oh no, I was dope. I'm a very objective guy, so I'm hypercritical even of myself. I was dope. I was resembling my dad a lot. Like,
are you saying if you wanted to go professional, you could have?
I would have, yeah, easily.
Serious?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it would have happened in Europe because my height was attractive. So it would have been a better situation. But I was going crazy. I used to have like one of my superpowers was a slide tackle. I used to have the perfectly timed slide tackle. Every time I hit it, my teammates would say, "Roo." It was I used to be an animal. I used to be captain. I captained my team for a long time. So I was decent. I was a very good strategist. I think that's why I also became a coach.
Yeah.
So I was very good at strategy. I was a very good leader on the field. I was a very stop nonsense. I'm the guy in the game. Make fits a game me. My shots, I'm bleeding. I hit someone. But I'm okay. We're laughing at the end of the game. I'm still here, So I was basically him. I basically became my dad's persona on the field. Even with like how he acted. I never drank. I never smoked. I was very disciplined. Like I was very focused. Like, and it took me pretty far. Like a lot of guys who play now, I played with. A lot of guys who are in Orlando Pirates, Sundowns. I have a lot of teammates, Swallows, Supersport, Richards Bay, PSL. A lot of the PSL are my teammates, like the former teammates. So I was good.
Nice.
I was good.
So leo nabe no samba no bathaba banyana. Get the booty say it, bra. How na le go ba mpotse na ke ta o tsena. O ba tlo mo feng mo industry. Ke na le number tsa bona ba mo industry ka go pantse. O bata ke ma. Oh, already go sharp.
Now I'm a DM away.
Oh,
Katamik.
Sure.
But
media how it all got there.
So I'm not.
Maro understand that.
Yeah. I'm not. It's habile khale.
Yeah.
It's habile khale.
No, but it's good that you've got one woman. That's why you can focus on the hustle.
Hey.
And how long have you guys been dating?
You just sounded like Joseph.
How long have you
guys been dating?
But there's nothing wrong.
Okay, couple switching phones.
Acknowledge. She's contributing into this thing. Yeah. You can only say that if you're a player, though. You can only say that if you're a player.
It was so bad. Yeah, I don't like.
Okay. Maruto Reshab.
Yeah.
Monat. That's dope. Is she in the industry?
No.
Would you date in the
I
industry?
do that to myself.
You wouldn't date in the industry?
No.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people say it would help because there's a level of understanding.
Yeah.
McG
says, but this one will get me into trouble. I don't like getting into trouble I don't like being reckless with my mouth. I'm one of those clean podcasts. But McG does say, what does he say, Gonja? About it girls? Hey. You guys know, why do you keep quiet? What does McG say about it girls? Oh, okay, cool. So you don't want any
I don't want to quote him. I know what he says.
Okay.
But I still don't want to even quote him, but it's not even about that.
I get you. Okay.
I'm in the industry and I'm seeing it now for myself.
Yeah.
And we can see right through these things, man.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good night. They got 6. It wasn't a good night. They got 6. Aye. L'Oreal marani. L'Oreal I have a chiku.
Primo!
So it's like you can see some of these things are lies and excuses and loopholes.
Yeah.
Now I'm new and I'm old and I come into it old and I'm not coming in.
Yeah.
So bagasing duty.
Yeah.
Bagasing duty. Ngas jolele when if it's about duty go be lie.
Yeah.
So I realized who I.
No, little now we've dated in the industry in the past, so we know the industry. But Marwana, you come from a family of somebody who's been in the industry.
Yes.
Who's been around famous people forever.
And he didn't.
Internationally.
And he didn't date in the industry, which was really dope.
He didn't?
No, my time I didn't.
Is it?
Yeah, he got married early and he was always in a relationship. Like my mom, my sister's mom, and my sibling's mom, not in the industry.
I guess that's why his success was on that highest level. Because they always say, once you commit to one person, you focus on the hustle.
He didn't dabble.
You focus.
He didn't dabble. And I think that's one thing I saw for Kesha. I don't want to feed into those lies. But I thought, no, it's better for you. You'll relate. You have things to speak about. The pillow talk, his work. Oh my God.
When I love for the advice.
Yo, I promise you, dude, you'll stress so much less, bro.
But doesn't your woman sometimes feel uncomfortable with you?
Very much so.
In these industry parties, being
Very
around
much
these
so.
celebrities.
It's crazy.
Getting all this love from these women.
It's crazy for everybody. It's crazy. But also with me specifically, I think it's just my brand. I'm just that guy. I'm just the funny guy.
You're a friendly guy.
I'm a friendly guy. I'm everybody's guy. You know, everybody wants to share a joke with me. Everybody wants to catch a laugh. So I'm always just out there. It's not even just at parties. It's just everywhere. Like everywhere I go, fella. They want me to try crack a joke.
Yeah, but women love guys who are funny.
You know, they like make me laugh. It's my turn type of thing to laugh at Primo personally. You know.
But we are personal.
Yeah, it's a joke. Yeah, how? No, I leave them with it. But like, I think it would be hectic for anyone. Even if the roles were reversed, where if it was a woman dating a guy, if it was a guy dating a woman in the industry, it was stress. But I feel like a relationship transcends that stuff. So it's about it being real, you know. So at the end of the day, man.
Would you get married?
Sure. Tricky question.
It's not tricky.
It is. I come from
I'm gonna get married.
Yeah.
I haven't been married for all these years.
You still believe you got it?
I've never got married.
Shout out.
But I'm gonna get married, yeah.
Do you mind if I ask how old you are, Rodman?
I'm 44.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna get married. But I have never been married in my life, yeah. Ever.
I find that so dope.
It's crazy because, I mean, obviously I've been popular for many years. I've been famous for quite some time. So at some point, it gets to a point where it's not as easy.
Yeah.
I don't want to say to find the one, but also you sort of know when it's not the one.
Yeah. So do you think you know better of what you don't want than what you want?
Yes.
That's the biggest problem.
Yes.
That's the biggest problem. And you'll see a lot of that in the industry where you'll have to kind of chill with someone until you realize, hey, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Then you run away.
And sometimes it becomes even more of a problem if you're not only famous, but you sort of perceive to be having money.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So then people come for the lodi.
Because you never know, right?
And then you get nucleus, guys. Look at our 200,000. Look at the nucleus. Guys, get nucleus. Ne, maar big saga di monate ko ke se haviana ke freshnyana re tsentsheka mo re jadi noodles. Jadi noodles. Let's be real. You know.
Now let's talk about your education. You studied economics. The industry that we're in, we get to see it even overseas. I mean, obviously myself, I'm a part of those type of people. As an example, is it works better if you understand the business side and you are able to not only monetize your craft or your God-given talents, but you are able to turn this thing slowly into a business. Yeah. Like some of us have done. Nabo Oskido over the years, your Black Coffees over the years, myself over the years, and the rest of the other guys. Why aren't you using your economics in the entertainment industry? Or is that within...
Who said I'm not?
Exactly. Is that within the plan?
Yeah, I'm already there. I control all my own affairs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so in that little stint where I was starting to get money and stuff, I realized I couldn't do both this side and this side. It would take away something, you know, to be a creative, because being a creative is very draining, but this thing requires you to be very vigilant with the money coming in, money going out, how you deal with this, how you deal with that. So I was trying to do it both alone. Then I got a manager. And then I realized this is not a manager. This is a PE. This is like admin help. You know, I'm still kind of I thought a manager would control my brand, would move me into spaces that she or he felt like I needed to be in at that time, and I'll benefit there, then move me here and I'll benefit there for things I don't necessarily see and help strategize. And that wasn't happening. I was like, okay, I feel like I need to restructure. Maybe I went to school and that makes me want to be in too many things, but I still want to be involved fully. So I got rid of that party and I was solo for a little bit. Then I roped in a family member and I said, I'm realizing that there's a big demand for admin. And she studied business communications, business administration or something. I was like, this is what you studied, so let me hire you as my first employee and to handle my admin. And she started with my admin. I was okay, admin one side, creativity one side. What other dynamics are there in this thing? Then I realized, okay, sharp, then there's bookings, then there's strategy, then there's brand affiliations, then there's the marketing of it and time management. And then I could actually break it down further and deeper and say, oh, okay, this system for it to work, there's all these components. I was expecting one person to handle the whole component. It actually doesn't work that way. So I now kind of divided it where I have a team that handles the very intricate parts of my business. You know, there's people who have certain responsibilities that pertain to this, certain with my schedule, with my brands, or this, when I want to do this, they're like, nah, this collides with this, so you can't do that. We have to turn someone down. And then there's strategic decisions that I make with my manager. You know, that's where we meet for strategy. And you say, okay, sharp, what's next? Can we work with this? How does this work if we work with these people? Must we take this big check over this big potential? Or is my content going to really bang here, but for a small check, whereas a big company wants me for a big check, but I'm not connecting proper and the content might not hit the way. So I am using my economics, but I'm also just realizing there's economics in everything in life. Economics is not monetary. Economics is the movement of demand and supply. And demand and supply moves in everything. You know, you wanted Primo 19 and it's a supply thing. Someone knows Primo and if I want to come, I'll come. You know, so it works on that and there's no monetary value involved. But now that we are trading creativity for money, I must have some sort of say. You are not going to tell me how much I cost. You are not going to tell me how much this hour sitting there costs me, or that my million people that are going to watch this thing is going to give you how many. You are not going to tell me how much that costs. I'm going to tell you how much it costs. You are going to decide if you want to come to this restaurant and buy this burger or not. You know, that's one thing I've had to learn. It's further than economics or whatever the case may be, how this system works. Yeah, break it down, and people must just be good at what they do.
Wow, so you can start from lockdown just using your phone in your mom's house, staying with your folks, getting kicked out, go move to your dad's house, do these funny TikTok skits with a cell phone. 3 years later, you've got a team.
Yeah.
3 years later, you're turning this thing into a business.
3 years later, I'm sitting with my legend. My legend wanted me to come talk.
And
you know what I mean?
And
like,
3 years later, I'm meeting the son of my legend.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that is my legend. Yeah,
it's very possible.
Yeah.
It's not far-fetched, this thing. Man. It's really not.
And it's important for me to emphasize that and reiterate that part, that when he started this interview, he told us how he started using, where's my cell phone? I don't know, wherever it is. He started using his phone. Today he's putting together a team, or he already has a team that is now, this talent is evolving into a business. Yeah. But he just started with a phone. He just started alone. So you can start small and grow as you go.
What you have.
Reinvest into this talent, because I also heard you speak about reinvesting in your talent.
Yeah, fully. That's all
you get better, right?
Yeah, that's all you can do. I mean, and reinvestment looks very different, comes in very different ways. It comes in putting money back into yourself. It also just comes in the time that you spend and who you spend it with, you know? Like if you spend your time with people like Robot Boy, you'll learn a lot. Like Robot Boy has been in this game for so long, you know, and he knows not just how to maneuver the industry, but how to maneuver the people. So I spend time with you. You have to invest time with people who know better than you, people who've been there, you know, people who, he's also someone who kind of, he's one of the very few people I relate to, you know, with our dads and with with the fact that we can't be boxed in and we don't want to be boxed in, and even just height, you know, there's just a lot of things we relate to. So just how you invest your time, because you can do a lot of things. When you get to this point, I'm in demand. You know, a lot of people want me to come to my party, come to my launch, come do this, come do that. Help me with this, help me with that. This celebrity wants to chill with you. This celebrity wants to come here. Okay, sharp, it's fine. Okay, guys. How? Chill. How? You know, so it's just about like making sure you are feeding the right parts of yourself.
Yeah.
So that's the investment part of it.
I heard you speak about Netflix. I heard you speak about some acting gigs. What current projects are you busy with, Khoneno?
So I'm waiting on a Netflix movie and little cameo, small little nyana something, big nyana something. You might not even see my name in the credits for that big nyana. And then there's a movie coming out where I'm acting alongside some big names. I can't say I'm under NDA, but I really hope it comes out next year and you guys really enjoy it. But I was acting with some heavyweights.
So you're kicking off an acting career?
Like, yeah, it's kicked off. It's up. I've already been in a series. I was in Linga Shoni, I think it was last year around my birthday.
Yeah.
I had like a 5-episode cameo.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Was that your first experience, acting experience?
Professionally.
Okay.
Professionally.
Apart from Gonku?
Yeah, yeah, properly. And it's something I'd always seen myself doing. Just didn't see it manifesting like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we up. Now they call us to audition.
Will Smith rapped, Will Smith did music, Will Smith did what is it? Was it In Living Color or was it, what was his comedy show going on TV?
Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes.
But he eventually evolved into this mega movie star.
Yes.
What is your end goal?
I don't think I have one. I think my end goal is to be an industry voice. You know, like to have gravity. When I came in with the comedy, I swayed a lot of people into a direction, you know. Relatable comedy wasn't as huge. You know, making people laugh on something they've experienced in the past growing up or they experience right now in the way that I did wasn't a mainstream thing. All of a sudden it's mainstream. So it's like, okay, cool. Clearly I have a bit of a power of an impact of swaying how people do and see things. I think now kind of growing that is my end goal, is to being that sway in many more things, in the films we watch, in the series that we consume, in the billboards we see, in just the standard of entertainment that we consume. I'm very big on upholding a high standard of entertainment. You know, if something doesn't connect, or if I don't think it's funny enough, I just won't post it. You know, even if you guys haven't seen content for a week, I won't post anything if I don't feel like it's good enough. So I think the end goal is to be one of the giants, one of the big voices moving the energy in the right ways and in the right places towards the right things and the right people and the right messages. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on social media right now. People are swaying people everywhere. You know, there's more feminists this way, misogynists this way. We support this way and poverty this way, and you don't do this way, and the slave queen do this, and there's a lot of things, and the internet is a mad like web of everything, but good and right still exists somewhere there. Good sustainability still exists somewhere there. Relatability, truth, all of those things still can be the focal point of entertainment.
Talking about goodness, talking about truth, positivity, that type of energy. Are you a religious person, spiritual person?
Yeah, I'm highly spiritual. My upbringing was Roman Catholic, very religious family, both sides of the family. So yeah, we definitely believe in the greater good. My dad is like the nation's good guy. What do you mean? You know, like Mandela. How much good can you get other than Mandela? You know, so like there's always been a huge representation of goodwill at home, you know, like of discipline, of like right. You know, there's a huge, that's why I'm like, I could get married. I was raised in a household that believes in marriage, that believes in long-term commitment. You know, my dad is married. So, but things are changing.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of things are changing, a lot of values are changing, a lot of the way perspectives are changing.
Careful now, don't piss off the madam at home, she's watching.
Wow, everyone knows I'm an open book. I'm an open book. I don't hide anything. Like, these are ongoing conversations, and I wouldn't want people to do things they don't want to do. And even marriage is one of those things I haven't really gotten to grips with if I want that thing or not. Yeah.
You know, I understand, and I also hear obviously it's in the good book. It's a good thing, right? It's a good thing to do, but also I also don't like people putting themselves under pressure by comparing themselves to other people or how society has labeled on how things should be done.
True.
Right? I think people must walk their own journey and people must do things when they're ready.
True.
And, you know, people must do things that are good for them. It's up to you.
True.
After all, you know, you can't necessarily just copy how other people are living their lives and apply it to yourself. Yeah. It's up to you. What works for you, works for you.
Very true.
I mean, I don't know how many people always, even till today, family gatherings, and obviously I don't get into that thing of explaining what I'm living my life, but I'm always like,
my dad, every Father's Day, we're not going to record Father's Day in When are you doing saying Happy Father's Day? When am I going to say Happy Father's Day? You know, so there's all those conversations are there, but in due time.
Let's talk about your tattoos.
Yeah.
I just recently found out that your dad is the great Lucas Radebe, and he knows he's my hero. I mean, all the time when I bump into him, I tell him. I just saw a beautiful video of him and your younger sisters.
Yes.
I think they were celebrating rugby. They were watching rugby.
That was my baby sister.
And that was dope because I follow him on Instagram. So you just showed me a tattoo of your father's name.
Yeah.
Tell me about the rest of your tattoos.
So I have everything has a deep meaning. Like, I'm a very spiritual guy. I'm a very deeper than rap kind of guy.
Yeah.
So everything has meaning. Even though Mokidi Popeye, Iron Man, this is Huey and Riley, literally Gidi Popeye, like Huey and Riley, Iron Man, number one, Optimus Prime, but like these are like cartoon leaders. Like, these are leaders in animation that I looked up to. Like, these are people who I related to a lot. I've always kind of gravitated to like their leader, like TJ from Recess, or you know, like in when there's groups, the guy, you know, like number one or Optimus Prime or something like
Beyonce.
that. Yeah, Beyonce. So a lot of it is like inspiration, memories. There's a lot of soccer stuff. 7174, where I'm from. I've got Amen on my knuckles. Everything is religious. This is 19. This is the family number. That's why I'm Primo 19. My dad played number 19. My brother played number 19. Kind of became the number. So everything is really deep. I've got a huge prayer. It's a Roman Catholic prayer, Hail Mary, on my chest. So yeah, everything is deep. But my parents hated it. Because I also went hard. I didn't come in slowly. No, my first tattoo was my back tattoo. My first tattoo stretched all across. And they didn't know for like 6 months until I slipped up and wore a vest. And my aunt was like, are you going to get into heaven with that thing? I said, excuse me? Chill out, our best friend, they're high. So, that was really weird. And then I remember walking in with these wings. This was after that, so it was these ones. And my dad was already a bit mad. So I walked into his house. And because it's a bit sore, I can't walk like this. So I'm kind of, my arms are a bit out. I'm like, then he saw, he's like, and I could see his face went red.
Yeah, and he doesn't have tattoos, no?
Nothing.
He's a good guy. I don't also have tattoos.
Zero.
No tattoos, no piercings.
My dad has zero, very different guy. He's already getting mad. And I'm like, oh no. He's about to lecture me. I'm like, relax. Please look what it says. And then he saw that it was his name, his birthday, and my mom. And then he's like, and then from then on, they accepted every single other tattoo, except for my knuckles. My mom hates them.
Yeah. My man, to each their own. Do whatever you like,
I've got
bro.
a lot. And
proud of you, bro. I'm happy to meet you. And thank you for coming back, because we were supposed to do this last week.
Yeah.
But the fact that you said to me you'll come back, you had to run somewhere, I don't know what had happened. I think we actually are double booked.
Yeah.
Sonia, don't double book.
But that was dope because I got to meet Koyani. Yo.
Oh yeah. Yo. From Zoktola.
I thought this Bruce just a presenter. No. he's the guy. Like he's trying operation him.
Even in the interview, he was like,
when we were waiting, he was doing that thing. He was like, people were calling him saying, "Hey dog, it's direct. Or okay, it's on blockade, it's on brigade." I'm like, you. I was like, I'm inside. She's like, when they showed the moon, yo, I was like, okay. So it was really dope to meet him. Yeah, it was really dope to meet him. It's so dope. Yeah.
And remember, we ended up wanting to make a double episode.
Yeah.
But you know what I like? Because I was like, guys, let's just have one episode. Olanis is October, Primo, just all three of us.
Yeah.
But you said, no, for what this guy offers or what he brings to the table, let him have his time. Let him have his interview. I'm okay. I'll come on a different time.
Yeah.
Are you always usually like that, like selfless?
Yeah, mostly. I was raised in a huge family, so that's what we do.
I get you.
Yeah, I'm used to it. Sometimes people take advantage of it, and sometimes people say I'm too kind, whatever the case, but it's what I'm used to doing. Yeah, I do. But I'm also a people pleaser. That's why being an entertainer, half of it is pleasing people, you know. So I just grew up pleasing too many people. You know, I mean, there's 33 of us in my 36 in my generation. Underneath us, there's like 17. My dad's is 10. My mom is 9. So I've always grown up around gang people. Gang, so I've always been
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understand.
Yeah,
that was really dope, man.
Yeah, but I knew. I know the podcast. I don't know. It's a jiggy guy.
Yeah.
You know, like I knew, for you to really get the real things, you needed Polani on his own.
Yeah.
And me on my own.
And then I kind of felt, even this is our part 1. I'm looking forward to our part 2, maybe sometime next year.
Yeah.
I know you would have achieved more things, and your new Netflix stuff would be out there, and you know you would have been. But before we wrap up the interview, I also wanted to ask you, because being somebody who's so multi-talented, being a part of the culture, have you ever thought of making music?
Yep. I've made.
Is that in the pipeline?
I've made music.
I'm saying your own music.
Yeah, I've made.
Are you serious?
Yeah. A lot of friends who are artists come to me for opinions. You know, I'm a part of like I say, it's like sound selection and select sounds. I've got a very good ear. I grew up around music fully. Like I'm a musician basically. It's just I didn't have the courage.
I'm a musician basically.
There was
a musician.
There was like a 2 weeks.
Actually, I'm a rapper.
I'm a rapper. Actually, so like
like Jay-Z or rap.
Hey, honestly, see my tigan.
No, that will miss you, bro.
So I remember there was like a month where I was like hooked on lean in varsity, and I was rapping.
Yeah.
All my friends would play
Little Wayne. Yeah.
I was rapping, and my freestyles were killing the bros. Like my freestyles were like I'm very sound. Musically, I'm very sound. But I like taking my time with things.
Okay.
As much as we do know that we have a lot to offer, there's a time for everything.
How did you stop lean? Being such a clean kid.
Oh no, it wasn't stop. It wasn't like I needed to stop.
You're not
I was
addicted.
just like in that whole.
Stone.
Yeah, I was just in the phase, and all the brews were doing it, and you guys are so cool.
Coffee mixture,
naps. I hate napping, but I must nap after this thing. I fuck. Ka 45 So I was like, there's no way this is not me. It just wasn't me.
It's been awesome, man. Thank you. I'm a bra. Mensa, you must check out another Tswana platform, a Pitori platform called Tsako Pitori. Have you watched it? It's called Tsako Pitori. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful content. I love how they shoot it, and they strictly feature Pitori people.
Yeah.
And Mamlela's Pitori,
Pitori is the coolest.
They feature DJs, producers, they feature dancers, comedians. It's just, but it's strictly about Pitori.
Featuring.
Yeah.
Featuring.
No, they will. Yeah. It's a beautiful channel, so you must check it out. And Homlady was Pitori yada.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I think it's the coolest language. It's the coolest language in South Africa. It is. I think that's why it's so. That's why music
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the coolest language. No, I
totally agree.
That's a hambe.
Lived in Pretoria for many years, I totally agree. Lived in Soshanguve, lived in Mambupane, obviously had a lot of friends go Mamsi, go Naledi da, obviously le 3G, le skrala vie, guy first time.
We tsamaile.
And I was on a rata diaparo blind, re phela da go tram shirt. Re phela go semi-max da.
Semi-max.
Yeah, there used to be a fashion clothing store called ne ba ibitsa ne reka di kipa tsa bo Peter Brown le bo 18 egg na ba ne ba ibitsa ne ba ibitsa damn it, I forgot the store, man. Canova. Why is it Canova? Oh, okay. We go Bellington Arcade. We used to guys. We used to buy mercerized cotton T-shirts. Tabuma Peter Brown. Go. It's Bellington Arcade.
Next.
Me bra, is it down here how? Victoria, go tropo.
Next time go tropo.
Oh, okay.
Ne go man skral, go tropo ngetse.
Oh yeah. La skrala se ferinyana from tropo.
Ke taxi nyane 2.
Yeah, about 45 minutes.
Taxi go from stationing at what's it?
Marota maga taxi bo ma hour.
Yeah, I R101 to eja monate.
And when last did you visit Skral?
I was there about a month ago.
Nice.
Yeah, nah, make sure.
Since you still go back to the
before that, it was a while, but I need to. I was formed there. Yo, I love that place.
You are here now. There's still others that are still there, that are 12 years old, that are 15 years old, that are 21 years old. They look up to you. And people like you who come on these platforms and say, I'm proud to be from Kukasing Ela. They would like to hear you, wrap up this interview. Wrap it up.
I don't know. If I also khutali by like the stories that we've heard, like I'm literally, all I'm gonna do is repeat the same sentiments. Like, you're enough. Like, what you have is more than enough. Like, I thought football was the thing for me, but Buhafi Baka was enough, So who you are, what you are is enough. Take your time, work on it. Make sure you are happy with yourself and that you are fine within yourself before you can take the chances of trying to compete in industry le giant do your thing, stick to your ideas, work it out, practice, and come out swinging.
I love you very much, bro.
Love you too.
I'm gonna give you a souvenir, just like Grotman Le to Siabonga, Ubabdali Tambo's pioneered the game in South African television. Kajalibama Felicia Mabuza, Raleleboa, we've never forgotten the role that you guys have played in South African television and in inspiring us to become TV or entertainers or presenters. So, in the famous words of the great Ntate Tali Tambo, when he gives you a cushion, Robert Boy was telling me that him and Pop-Pops on Popcorn and Cheese, they also give some cushions. And he says because they're both from the South, they're people from the South.
Yeah.
And the great legendary Tali Tambo, sorry, not Advocate Talimpof, but Tali Tambo, used to give out cushions at the end of his interview.
My dad as well.
Right? Oh, is it?
My dad was
Does he have a cushion?
Yeah.
Of people of the South?
It's black and gold.
It's been on that show.
Black and gold, I think.
How beautiful is that? That's a souvenir.
Yeah, and he's
so here's your souvenir. Uska ibula me brother mo habisa ka yona
Flavor trone nakwa.
Room divide. Room divide. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for coming.
Appreciate you so much. I've been waiting for a Flavortron for a very long time.
Yeah, get robot.
Yeah.
Flavortron. Looking forward to you seeing you grow, my brother. God bless you. I love you and thank you.
Honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Dango. This guy's tall.
So every time we promote growth in the muscles, in the bones. Stretch.
I'll see you guys on the next video. I love you guys and thank you very much for tuning in. Primo is the name.
What a great interview.
Dango.
That's why I came back. I knew.
Yeah, thank you.